What if everyone thinks we're washed up? Oh, what if we are washed up?
Luckily, we will not need to perform any heroics. Unless you count smiling and waving.
Right.
Ratchet and Clank are back after years away from the forefront of the video game industry, and the opening hours of Rift Apart even acknowledge that. By the time the game starts, you already know that these guys are the heroes, the ones that have saved the galaxy time and time again. Though this game is one of the first PlayStation 5 exclusives that I truly feel embraces the hardware to its fullest, it's not without its flaws. Welcome to the Platinum Rating, where I give you a review of the game and let you know if it's worth your time to go for that sweet Platinum trophy. Ratchet and Clank are some of the most adored Sony characters that a lot of us grew up with, along the lines of Crash Bandicoot and later characters like Jak and Daxter as well as Sly Cooper. Insomniac have not only stayed true to what made Ratchet and Clank so fun, but improved upon the third-person gunning as well as exploration in some of the most lush and polished set pieces we have experienced in a Ratchet and Clank game. Hell, in any game up to this point. Insomniac have not only stayed true to what made Ratchet and Clank so fun, but they've improved upon the third-person gunning as well as exploration in some of the most lush and polished set pieces that we've experienced in a Ratchet and Clank game. Hell, in any game up to this point. Rift Apart has some of the strongest characterizations in the series, especially when it comes to Rivet and Kit, dimensional counterparts to Ratchet and Clank, characters that we have spent so many years getting to know. The writing in Rift Apart deals with some heavy mental health issues that are present in the characters throughout the journey. These characters have their own wants, fears, and motivations. Rivet isn't just Ratchet 2.0, she's her own character. Due to years of war against Emperor Nefarious, Rivet has these trust issues that she has to overcome through the course of the game. She realizes that she doesn't have to do this alone. She can trust people, open up to them, and be stronger with them by her side. Then there's Kit, the counterpart to Clank, who wants nothing but to live a life of peace after she has hurt so many people working under Emperor Nefarious. To see her struggle with that as she opens up and comes to terms with what she did is not only a great moment in the game, but also one of the ways that she gets differentiated from Clank and becomes her own character. One of the titular characters, Ratchet, has a fear of looking for other Lombaxes, and how he doesn't know what to expect when meeting them. He doesn't want to disappoint them, or he doesn't want to be disappointed when he does finally meet them. Then there's the other half of the duo, Clank, who is struggling with his self-worth. He feels that he is worthless and incomplete as he is without an arm throughout the story. Through his arc, he figures out that he is more than just his injury. He realizes that he is more than capable and can do anything, even save the dimensions from Nefarious. One gameplay design that I greatly appreciate is the save moveset and gear that Ratchet and Rivet share. I know that some people will feel that this doesn't give the characters any variety to differentiate themselves in their gameplay, but it breaks down on the grind of worrying about getting two different characters up to the skills and gear that you prefer. And it is explained in-game as to why the two characters do have a shared moveset, as Rivet is the only Lombax in her dimension, so when Ratchet comes through, it's just assumed that they're the same person. Playing Rift Apart feels really good. The controls are tight and fluid, which allows the game to really shine. The introduction of phase dodge has made combat all the more satisfying. This dodge not only helps with traversal, but it gives you iframes so you can go through enemy attacks, reposition, and keep the combat flowing. With the introduction of rifts, battles have a new dimension to them as well, as you can hop around the battlefield instantly and either close the gap or get up close and personal with your enemies. Rifts add an extra dimension to exploration as well. You need to keep a keen eye out for them as you might miss a collectible. You never know where a gold bolt is going to be hidden. Later on in the game, you get a pair of high-speed hover boots that help you move through the world so much faster, as well as helps you jump even further with style. There's also the hurl shot that will propel you across canyons and get you to some of the more hard to reach places. Running around equipped with an arsenal of weapons in your back pocket, you will witness how combat has this beautiful flow of offensive and defensive, where you are constantly switching between weapons to plow your way through hordes of enemies. When Rift Apart really kicks it to 11 is when the game has you and your weapons at their most pivotal power point, which gives you so much variety in combat that can be highly diverse. These weapons also showcase the haptic feedback on the PS5 controller. Each gun has its own feel when used that really immerses you in the fight. Every weapon has an experience bar that once leveled up to the max causes the weapons to change in aim and gives it new effects. This level up mechanic is also tied to the upgrade system for the weapons as well. Since the higher level the weapon is, the more upgrades are available for you to get when you use crystals found all over the world called Raritarium. These Raritarium crystals can be used to upgrade aspects of your weapon like shot speed, accuracy, and bullet spread to name a few, as well as a few surprises to help you inflict mayhem throughout the dimensions. Like the Void Repulsor, when once leveled up to its max turns into the Void Reactor. Not only do you feel the power of the blast in your hands with a haptic feedback as it emanates through the controller, it also gets another ability which lets you hold up the shield and store bullets that you can blast back at your enemies. Even in cutscenes, you feel the world through the controller, like when Dr. Nefarious runs his finger across the metal desk, you experience that as well. Rift Apart is not just a run and gun fiesta, it also has little breaks in between, like the pocket dimensions which showcase the game's unique way of platforming, and the puzzle sections with Clank, and even the introduction of the cute and endearing character Glitch, and her challenges break up the monotony of combat. But if you want more of the combat, then the arena is the place for you. It's not only a way to try out your weapons, but it benefits you especially if you're like me and you tend to 100% complete games like this. Completing the gauntlet, Ratchet and Clank opens up a challenge mode for its players, which is nice because the regular difficulty, well, really isn't that difficult. The only times I actually did die in the game is a part in the beginning where a boss fight didn't trigger and I had to restart, and another section later on in the game where the world just didn't load, which in turn caused me to die. There were also random bugs that showed up here and there, and that kind of thing hampered the experience a bit, especially since this game is one of the flagship titles in the first year of the PlayStation 5. Another thing that stifles the experience is that during the later stages of the game, they just keep throwing waves and waves of enemies at you to obviously show you the strength of the PlayStation 5, but it just makes encounters seem longer than they need to be. The dialogue can also be quite ham-fisted, as they do go over these mental health issues that these characters go through, but they just try to dumb it down for the children that are probably going to play this game. Just because the game is rated E for everyone doesn't mean you need to shy away from some of the more serious tones. Now, if you're looking to get every trophy in this game, then you're in for quite a fun experience that is not tiresome or grindy like other games. Rift Apart has a nice mix of collectible and exploration trophies. There are also weapon-related trophies that urge you to play with and experiment with all the weapons at your disposal. Nothing is missable, and once you beat the game, it will put you right back before the end boss. Just make sure you do everything before starting a challenge mode run to collect the final trophy. For example, killing at least 5 grunters on Sargasso. For a game so fun and fleshed out, you are looking at a surprisingly brief 10 to 15 hour platinum. And that's even watching all the cutscenes and taking your time with exploration. So, if you're someone like me who likes to look at that fresh new platinum trophy, then this is the game for you. All in all, I feel that Rift Apart is a game that is quite awe-inspiring with beautiful visuals and tight combat that can match no other. It may not be the longest game, but I feel like it makes up for it with style, play, and substance. While not the perfect game, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart was an enjoyable experience that I would recommend to anyone who has a PlayStation 5. I'm not one to give this game a number rating, but if I was to tell you something, it would be to platinum this game. Take the time to experience this fun and engaging game that is tailor-made for the PlayStation 5. If this is what the PlayStation 5 is capable of in the beginning of its life cycle, I cannot wait to see what Sony has in store for us, especially if we can get more games from other beloved franchises. Maybe Naughty Dog can give us another Jak and Daxter game.
Listen here, pup. If ye help release me, I shall give ye this nice succulent bone. 'Tis beautiful, eh? I see 'tis not an entirely fair trade. What if I give ye this bone and some head scritches? Ye drive a hard bargain. This bone, head scritches, and I will throw in me prized hat. But no more, so do not even think of asking. Okay, this bone, head scritches, me hat, and me ship. Just let me keep me booty. 'Tis all I have left. Fine, fine. Ye can have it all. Just get me out of here, pup, please. I am begging ye. Curse ye.